So hello and welcome back to Go Again Gaming. My name is Az, and today we're going to be having a discussion as to whether we think Flesh and Blood can topple Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast. Before we go into it, please make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the little bell notification if you do want to be notified of any future videos. And if you want to help the channel grow, if you want to support me directly, then go and please check out my Patreon. Links in the description box below. Any tier, any sort of contribution you make on a monthly basis will help this channel grow exponentially to new heights and do even bigger and better things. So please go and check that out. What you can also do is check out my Webstore. Again, link is in the description box below. And if you are in the market for any unique, commissioned, awesome artwork playmats for Flesh and Blood, based on the world of Wraith, with more designs coming out soon, again, go and check out the Webstore. At the moment, there's only 2 playmats left on the limited edition Everfest playmat, which will be reprinted again at some point, but go and check those out when you can, just in time for Tales of Aria as well. And if you are looking for any booster boxes, booster packs, or Ultra Pro accessories, and you are in the UK, please go and check out my affiliate link in the description box below with the card vault and use the Go Again Gaming discount code for 3% off your order. They are doing Tales of Aria pre-orders now as well. I think there's 8 boxes left. 12 have gone already using the code. Yeah, very, very, very good price. £109, I believe. So with the discount, it basically pays for the free shipping. Well, I think it's free shipping anyway for orders over that amount. But go and check that out when you can. Very, very good price over at the Card Vault. And also go and join the Discord as well. If you've watched this channel, you might have seen the Go Again Gaming Open being streamed on Discord. The entries for that will come out very, very shortly as well. So go and check out the Discord. Links in the description box below. So yeah, discussion point today is whether we think Flesh and Blood will be able to sort of capitalise on Magic the Gathering shortfalls and ultimately topple Magic the Gathering in a spiritual sense. You know, all the people that have played Magic the Gathering over the years, I think, are transitioning over to Flesh and Blood now. And Magic the Gathering are going to have to cater to the younger players now, which is what we've seen from the products and stuff that they're doing and the crossovers with Stranger Things and Fortnite and all that garbage. Yeah, they're going to have to start doing something, because the points I'm going to make now are going to cater to the people that are in their 30s that have been playing for sort of 20 odd years, more EDH casual style players now as we've grown up. But yeah, let's go into the first point, which is the fact that a lot of Magic the Gathering's personalities or content creators are going to start coming into this game. We've seen the Professor, we've seen Olivia Gobert-Hicks, and we've also seen Tappy Toeclaws be the poster child of the Road to Nationals in Las Vegas. So other MTG personalities are going to see those people at the spotlight of the Flesh and Blood event and think, oh wow, if they're into it, why don't I give it a go? Why don't I try it? So we're going to see, I'm predicting it now, we're going to see a massive surge of Magic the Gathering or other TCG content creators now covering Flesh and Blood. Because not only is it a fantastic game, but more and more people are seeing more and more people get into it. And that's just the hype train. The hype train will keep going and going and going and going. And before we know it, Flesh and Blood is going to be absolutely massive. Absolutely massive, with all these personalities coming into the game and promoting the game and playing the game and making videos on the game, and just getting involved in the community, you know. So, and the more they do that, the more they experiment with the Flesh and Blood community, the more that they're going to want to get involved, because the community is just so awesome. All the people that are involved are just so awesome, and the company cares as well about the game and what's going on. Hence why I received obviously a content creator appreciation kit, which is just there. Look, well, you can see the letter at least. So yeah, the support is amazing, and the MTG personalities that have had problems with Wizards, that have had problems with preview cards or getting all this cool stuff from Wizards, are seeing that in Flesh and Blood, and the fact that they are supporting people. So we're going to see, point number one, we're going to see a lot of Magic the Gathering content creators coming into Flesh and Blood and making content on it. So yeah, there's going to be loads more eyes on the game, and obviously the rising tide affects all ships, so it's a good time to be into Flesh and Blood, because all the people that are making content, whether that's like people like me that have only been playing for 3 or 4 months, to other people like Red Zone Rogue and DM Armada and Kitchen Table TCG, are going to see more and more eyes on their content as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what personalities do come into the game. And I had a very, very brief exchange via email with Pleasant Kenobi, and I asked him whether he has played, and he's going to be picking it up and playing soon as well. So again, more MTG personalities that are avid creators for Magic the Gathering are going to start playing this game more and more often. So it's going to be interesting to see what their experiences are. So yeah, that's the first point. The second point is the fact that competitive play is on the rise, and it's on the hype train as well. And this also factors into the point number one, is that competitive play, a lot of the competitive players in Magic the Gathering have dropped off due to the fact that, you know, Magic the Gathering just isn't really supporting competitive play as it used to. So a lot of people have then picked up the pieces by going to the Flesh and Blood events and getting involved with the Flesh and Blood competitive play and giving it a go. A lot of people on Twitter are saying that they might as well give Flesh and Blood a go because there's massive cash prizes, it's competitive play, it's an awesome back and forth game. So it sort of goes into point number one, that competitive players and all the, you know, the sort of personalities in that regard are coming over to this game because of the massive cash prizes and all of the hype and all of the support around the competitive play structure, which I think is going to be, again, that's going to grow as well. With all the stuff that's going on, that is going to grow as well. So yeah, we're going to see a lot more of the Magic the Gathering ex-competitive players there transitioning over to Flesh and Blood. Their audience, their sort of Twitch followers, all of that sort of stuff are going to get more eyes on Flesh and Blood. More people are going to want to try it, and therefore it's going to grow massively. It's going to grow absolutely massively. Now, the third point is about long-term Magic the Gathering players like me, and a lot of others. I've been speaking to a few people on Twitter about this and what their feelings are about it, and, you know, just trying to gauge when people got into this game, Flesh and Blood, and where they came from. Now, a lot of people have said that they've been, you know, long-time avid Magic the Gathering players for about 20, 25 years, you know, since the 1990s. And I grew up with Magic the Gathering back in the 1990s. All of the old school artwork and just going through 10p boxes, 10p common boxes in your local game store, just picking out cards that you like the look of, and some that just disgust you and stuff. So I think the long-term Magic the Gathering players and the EDH, casual, kitchen table players that grew up around a kitchen table just playing, throwing cards at their friends and making their own rules up. A lot of those long-term players and EDH players, casual players, are also dropping off of Magic the Gathering now. So Magic the Gathering has been going for 20, 25 years plus, one of the longest, if not the longest, trading card game ever. So a lot of those longer term players, the people that have been playing for 20, 30 years, are getting disillusioned with the amount of products, with the amount of crossovers, with the fact that the spirit of Magic the Gathering as they knew it, as I knew it, as you knew it back then, has gone. It's not this fantasy world that you can escape into anymore. It's just crossovers with pop culture. Magic the Gathering wants to be pop culture. It wants to solidify itself in pop culture, which is why it's doing things like Stranger Things crossovers, Walking Dead crossovers, Fortnite crossovers. So, yeah, that's why a lot of us 20, 30-year-olds that used to play Magic the Gathering back then are dropping off now, because we just can't be bothered to follow all of this stuff, and we don't want to see a fantasy game that we grew up with trying to be pop culture. And I get that games have to evolve. You know, games do have to evolve, and Magic the Gathering is at that point now where it's a conglomerate business that just wants to make loads of money. Papa Hasbro's behind it, as Rudy says, and they need to cater to the newer players, because all of us older players are dropping off to play Flesh and Blood. All of us older players that have got all of this massive paper collection, that just want to sit around a kitchen table in our houses now are just getting disillusioned with the product that's coming out. And there's just products all the time, all everywhere. Wherever you go, there's a new controversy with Wizards of the Coast, and that's just annoying us long-term players that play EDH, that have played around kitchen tables for years. And again, with Flesh and Blood and EDH as a comparison, because I come from more of a EDH Commander background over the last few years. All I've played is Commander round the table with friends. But as a Commander player, in Commander, you choose a legendary creature to lead your deck to victory against your opponents. Now, the great thing about Flesh and Blood is that you choose a hero that identifies with you, that you want to represent. And therefore, you're in that space straight away. You're building your deck based on your class, based on your hero, and you're in that space already. You're representing a character from the world that you enjoy, and you're facing off against another character. So I think that also is speaking to a lot of the players that play EDH, and Commander is massive at the moment as a result of, Command Zone game nights, all that good stuff. Commander is massive. Now, if you can replicate that in an environment that cares about your local game store, the people that are playing it, the competitive play, the company that's supporting local game stores and creators and all that sort of stuff, then why not give it a go? So yeah, EDH and long-term players like myself getting disillusioned with the game and transitioning and trying other card games to try and sort of scratch that itch without having to be involved with all the controversy and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think a lot of people, including myself and including people that I spoke to, are dropping off of Magic the Gathering to play Flesh and Blood because it's a much more self-contained world that isn't going to be sort of prone to wanting to be pop culture. And it goes to show how amazing and backbreaking that can be, because Flesh and Blood is just on the rise so much. So people want to be in that self-contained world. They don't want to be in a multiverse situation that cares about Walking Dead characters and X-Men characters probably in the future. Well, obviously we got Warhammer and Lord of the Rings coming into it, and I'm looking forward to that. But again, I don't think a lot of people do want to have their world, their sort of space intruded by other mediums, by other sort of things that aren't part of that Magic the Gathering universe. So I think Flesh and Blood is great because it's self-contained in its own universe and it can't be penetrated by outsiders. So that wasn't really a point that I had on my list, but I'm gonna spitball ideas anyway. And one thing I did mention in passing, another point that I think a lot of people are transitioning over to Flesh and Blood, is because Flesh and Blood really do cater to the local game store model. So they do encourage armory events. They do encourage events and prizes, and again, going back to the Road to Nationals and all that sort of stuff, they do encourage in-person Flesh and Blood play, which is something that Magic Gathering just doesn't care about anymore. They don't want their products in local game stores. They want to go straight past. They want to bypass all of the sort of retail and just go straight to distribution. They want to sell directly to the consumer. They don't need local game stores to promote their game, to run events anymore, because it's at that stage where everybody knows about it. And that's why we're seeing the development and the controversy behind Magic the Gathering, is because they're running out of ideas. They don't know what to do. They're plucking other IPs and throwing it into their game because they just don't know what to do. And also, they want to bring in new players and bring in new audiences and put more eyeballs on Magic the Gathering, which is fair enough because they have earned it. They've done a lot of work. They've kept us entertained for the last 20, 25 years, and people have been playing this game for so long and getting so into it, and that's fair enough. They want to do different things, but I think that's why people are getting alienated by it and do want to go back into a self-contained universe that cares about local game stores and building the communities up again, and it's bringing those feelings back of when we first started playing Magic the Gathering. It was very much an outsider's game. You thought you were quite cool because you were going to Magic the Gathering nights or Flesh and Blood nights now, and not many other people are. But I think, yeah, it's going to grow exponentially as a result of the points that I've just made. and it's going to be fun to see where it goes, because the rising tide affects all ships. You know, the more popular Flesh and Blood gets, the more views my channel might get, for instance. And I'm only a small YouTuber, but the rising tide affects all ships. So the more stuff that happens with Flesh and Blood, the more that it continues to skyrocket, the more opportunities come up for us smaller creators or the people that have got into it recently. And I think it's a great time to be into Flesh and Blood right now, because, again, a lot of people are dropping off from Magic the Gathering. A lot of people are dropping off from other TCGs to try this out, because the hype is there in spades. So yeah, there's a couple of points as to why I think Flesh and Blood could topple Magic the Gathering in a spiritual sense. I don't know in a monetary sense, but I do think the foundations are there for a great game. The foundations are there for an amazing experience following this over the next few years, or however much I choose to do that. But it's going to be a good ride, and the experiences we've had so far definitely say to me that Flesh and Blood can topple Magic the Gathering, at least for everyone that's from the same sort of background, at least. But we will see. We will see. But drop your comment in the section below. Do you think Flesh and Blood has the power to topple Magic the Gathering? Or at least make them worry a little bit as to where their players are going, what their players are playing. So thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit a little bell notification if you want to be notified of any future videos. Again, please check out my Patreon, my affiliate link with the card vault, my web store for the unique playmats, and of course, go and join the Discord for all of the banter regarding Flesh and Blood and other TCGs. But until that time, until the next time, we'll see you on the next video. Peace!